common problem with these Honda Civics is the check engine light came on, and when I use my scanner, it comes back as coolant temperature below threshold. And as you can see, 70 miles an hour. I've been driving for about 30 minutes now. We only have 4 little marks there on the temperature gauge, which helps us pinpoint that it's the thermostat stuck open. It's very common on these Honda Civics for the thermostat to get stuck open, especially with higher mileage. This one has 213,000 miles on it. So we're going to be replacing the thermostat and put some new coolant in it, and then we'll reset the light. Stay tuned here and we'll get that done this evening. Alright guys, we have a 2007 Honda Civic here, and the check engine light is on for a P0128. And it is a thermostat code saying that the temperature is lower than it's supposed to be. And like I showed you earlier, driving down the highway, the temperature gauge doesn't even get up to normal. It stays cool all the time, which means that most likely the thermostat is stuck open. That's why it's running cool. So what we're going to do is we're going to be replacing the thermostat tonight. I let the car sit for about an hour, just let it cool down after I drove it on the highway. And first step was we're going to pop the hood, open that up. And the thermostat housing is right here in the front. Let me move the camera in here a little closer for you. You guys will be able to see this or not, but it's going to be right below thermostat housing is going to be right below this radiator hose. We're first going to start by removing these 2 10mm bolts. There's one right here and there's one right here that actually bolt to the outside of the thermostat housing. What it's doing is holding this wiring harness for the looks like the oxygen sensor. So give me a second, I'll grab a 10mm. Right, got just a 10mm ratchet here. We're gonna pull off this top bolt. There's a lower one. Once I got them started, I'm just going to do the rest by my hand. Alright, let's take a look here. I'm just going to go ahead and unplug the, well, I guess it doesn't really matter, just because of the fact, yeah, we'll just move it aside like that. You don't need to unplug the oxygen sensor. Alright, let me move the camera in here for you so you can see a little better. I'll show you what bolts we're going to be moving. Okay, so this here is the thermostat housing, and we're going to be removing this bolt here. And then if you can see on the other side, underneath this hose, there's another 10mm bolt over here. So those are the 2 bolts that hold on this cover. Underneath this cover right here is the actual thermostat. Before we do that, we're going to drain the coolant out of the radiator. So what we'll do back this up a little bit. First, we will open the radiator, remove the cap. Let's set the cap up here for now. Then you want to grab a pan or a container to catch the coolant. Let's see here. Underneath the car, there will be a little access, a little hole, and there's a plastic piece that you can grab and you'll just twist it. Let's see, you'll go counterclockwise to open it. It's called a petcock. And once you open it, it's going to start draining coolant. Here, coolant is draining. We'll just give that a few minutes and come back to it. We've drained out most of the coolant. I went ahead and I pushed that pan back further because when you do take the thermostat housing cover off, it is going to leak some coolant. So with that being said, yeah, it looks like the pan's going to be underneath it. So I just want to be prepared to try to catch as much as possible. If you'll be able to see these or not. Try raising the camera a little higher, maybe. There you can kind of see. See if we can get in here. Got this side broke loose. And then this side. Both those are very easy to get to break loose. See if we can do the rest by hand. There's that one. I'll just gotta use this so it's easier to reach it. So yeah, there's only 4 bolts total. The 2 bolts that held on that bracket, and then just the 2 bolts that hold on the thermostat housing. So this is a pretty simple job. I mean, the average person, all you need is a 10mm socket and a ratchet. It's the only tool you really need. I mean, you could use a container or a pan to catch your coolant with. Yeah, it's pretty straightforward so far. And there's the coolant leaking out the bottom, which luckily we have the pan underneath. And here's the old thermostat. Here's the valve at the top. It's kind of blown out. And if you look at it, you can actually see that it's stuck open. I don't know if you can see this on camera, or if it'll... Right there, you can see the gap of the light shining right through there. So it should be closed right now. And it's obviously trying to close, but just due to age, it doesn't close all the way. Hopefully you can see the gap of light right there. So that's a stuck open thermostat for you. We'll set that aside. Get our new thermostat. Just compare. You just want to compare the old thermostat, new thermostat. Make sure they look the same. Both have the valve. So this is the new one here, and that's the valve here at the top. I'm sorry, this thing right here is called the valve. When you put that back in there, you want the valve facing up, straight up. You want the valve facing straight up when you put it back in there. That's pretty simple there. Take the cover. Got the cover laying there. I'm just going to take the socket, put the bolt in the socket, just to give me a little extra length, just to help me here. Just to go ahead and get it started. Okay, I got the right bolt started. I'll get the other bolt for the left side. Got the left side started. But yeah, the other main reason I'm replacing this is it's starting to get cooler here in the mornings, and on my drive to work, the heat doesn't work that great. It just blows out lukewarm air out the vents because the car's not heating up. So I've been wanting to replace this before winter time when I actually really need the heat. Okay, got both of those started pretty well. You could use a torque wrench if you wanted to. You don't need to. The two thermostat housing bolts, I think they only torque to 7.9 foot-pounds, which isn't much at all. Don't forget you're screwing into aluminum, so you don't want to strip it out. That one's just snug a little bit. Come back at this one. And that seems pretty tight. And that's good enough. For only 7.9 foot-pounds, that's not too much at all. And then put this bracket back on, which are two more 10mm bolts. Same thing, these are screwing into the thermostat housing, which is aluminum. I believe the torque setting for these two bolts are 7.2 foot-pounds, which same thing isn't much at all. So I mean, you can do this easily by hand. You don't want to over-tighten them and strip out aluminum. Yeah, this isn't a hard job at all. Okay. Top one's good. And the bottom one. And it's up to you what thermostat you want to buy. I like to just use the OEM parts. I found a dealer on Amazon that was just selling the thermostat. And you also want to make sure that you use Honda coolant. It's the blue coolant. Don't put other types of coolant in your car. Don't mix the coolants or anything like that. So that there is finished. Now we're on to the point of filling the radiator. I can go ahead and hold this pan out. Let me get a funnel and we'll fill up the radiator. Now we're just going to fill the radiator. Alright, at this point, we now have just double check, it looks like a full radiator. Okay, when it's full and it's no longer going down in there, you can squeeze this top hose to help burp some of the air out. Alright, you can see there that the radiator is now full. The correct way to bleed this is you're going to take the radiator cap and you just want to lay it on there. You don't actually tighten it down. You want to allow air to escape. You don't want it to build any pressure. And then you're going to start the car, let it run. It's probably going to take 5 to 10 minutes until the radiator fan kicks on. And then it'll kick off. The second time that it kicks on, You then turn the car off, top off the coolant level in the radiator, and you're done. Put the cap all the way on, and it's a done deal. That's how you get all the air out of the system. So give me just a second. I'm going to go here and start the car and let the fan cycle. All right, so far things are looking good. The car has been idling just for a couple minutes. Temperature gauge is starting to go up on the dash. Right now there's about 6 bars on the gauge cluster, the little digital things that go up. So it's starting to build temperature. The fans have not kicked on yet. The fan that we're talking about is going to be the fan right here. Once it gets to a certain temperature, when that fan kicks on, it'll run, it'll turn off. When it comes on the second time, that means the thermostat's open for the... Each time the fan kicks on, the thermostat's opening up is what it's doing. When it gets to a certain temperature, that's why the fan kicks on to help cool it back down so the thermostat closes. Like I said, when it cycles 2 times, you turn the car off, top the coolant off, and that's it. We've got all the air out of the system now. It's a very simple process on a Honda, not like other vehicles like a GM or what have you. There you go. That was the second time the fan just cycled. Now I'm going to turn the car off. And just to give you an idea, that took exactly 20 minutes to get the fan. The car was cold, so just idling took 20 minutes for the fan to cycle for a second time. And all we got left is to top this off, and we are completely done. It's full. And that's that. And then I have a code reader, and I will reset the check engine light, and I think we'll be completely done with this. I'll do a follow-up tomorrow and let you guys know how it does tomorrow on the highway. Thank you for watching my channel. Well, anyways, quickly here. So to reset codes or check codes in your car, I highly recommend this one. It's a scan tool called Blue Driver. The reason I like it is that it has free lifetime updates, and it's a little dongle that you plug into your OBD2 port of your car, and then it connects Bluetooth to your cell phone. So this is all that it is. Real simple. You just plug it into the Bluetooth port of the car, and if you give me just a second, I'll take the camera over here and show you how easy this is. On the 06 through 11 Honda Civics, it's going to be the driver's footwell area. I don't know if you'll be able to see it or not, but it's a little too dark. But it's up here in this corner. Let me go ahead and there we go. So that gives you an idea. Once you plug it in, it lights up blue. In case you guys get an idea where it's at. Then you'll just turn your car onto the accessory position. We will open up the app. It says connecting to the sensor. Just hit remind me later. We're going to hit read codes. We're going to go with check engine light. It asks to just document the mileage of the car. And oh, look, we're at 214 finally. We're at 214, 296 already. Alright, so there's the main code that we were dealing with. Coolant thermostat. Coolant temperature below thermostat regulating temperature. So then we're just going to hit delete. Now we've got no codes. And I'm sure once we replace this thermostat, we won't have any codes in the future. But like I said, I'll check again tomorrow. But I have a feeling that we've got it fixed now. So like I said, if your Civic has the P0128 code, it's as simple as replacing that thermostat. I used pretty much one tool, a ratchet with a 10mm socket on it. And the removal and installation probably took 10 minutes, and then, like I said, it took 20 minutes just to let the car warm up, just to get the air out of the cooling system. But hopefully this video helped you guys. If you like it, please give us a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe, because I'll have plenty of other Honda Civic videos. Plus I have other Hondas as well. I have a Pilot, an Accord, Honda S2000. So I do other videos than just the Honda Civic, but you're probably watching this video because you own a Honda Civic. Thanks a lot, guys.